today.
And here we go.
Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm John Miglosh for the WDMA. We're going to be talking about fundraising letters today. So if you have ever had to write a fundraising letter, and if you haven't, you should help out your community and your nonprofits in the area. And so we'll talk about that. But first, we're going to talk about Kroger putting in a bunch of cooler door things. And the only thing left out of the ad was a video showing a really good example. And so, not to disappoint, I went and found a video. And so now we'll play it for you.
Well, check it out. They run ads too. Thirsty?
And I believe there's motion sensors so that as you get close to the door, it changes.
Wait to speak. Voice assistant's coming soon. Oh, check it out.
Voice assistant coming soon.
I don't know what you would need to ask a question for.
And I replied as I was watching the video, that's so they don't need clerks in the store. They can have one voice assistant for each group of products. So they could have a beverage assistant, and the beverage assistant could be in San Diego or someplace and could service all the Kroger stores all at the same time. Like, it used to be with fire alarm services or security services, you'd buy from a local guy and they had to keep 3 people on site, on call 24/7, and it was very expensive, a lot of overhead. And then some companies got the idea that if they could just buy up these local companies, they could pay them more than they were making by quite a bit, and they could consolidate the assistance that you get. And that's probably what's coming. So they won't need as many clerks in the stores because you can press a button if you have a question. And probably they'll actually know something. If you've ever asked a question, or if you've lately asked a question of a clerk in a store, I don't know if we sell that. It's like that. I don't know where it is. You wander around for a while. So this has some potential for giving me a map of where the stuff is I'm looking for. Also,
pretty impressive stuff.
They're called cooler screens.
Cooler screens. And they're somewhat dynamic, and they can
That's really cool.
check inventory if there's something missing. They don't show it on the outside, so you don't waste time.
These things, though. Sodas
And see,
It's like Blade Runner-esque.
they give you the categories. And for somebody like me who has glasses, the items behind the glass and back about a foot, they're hard to read, so I have to open the doors.
It looks very Fifth Element to me. Just the whole
thing.
Okay, and I think, it wouldn't surprise me that I know in some areas where they've been hit hard by organized crime raids of shoplifters, which is a story I may or may not cover, but it's been in the marketing news a bit. In that context, they've made this. They put basically all the items behind locked doors, and in a scenario like this, you could use your shopping card, that you're a legitimate shopper, and just touch that to open the door. Well, otherwise it would stay locked and with bulletproof glass or something, shatterproof glass, let's say, so that somebody can't just go in and rifle all the merchandise from all the shelves. And then, as Denny Hatch said, put it on eBay, the world's largest fence operation. I can't say. I enjoy buying things on eBay, but I don't buy this kind of stuff mostly. Not much packaged goods. So anyway, from Carlene Lubavitch, Kroger turns cooler doors in 500 stores into digital ad spaces. Now the video I showed was from last summer, July or August of 2022. So that must have been part of the pilot. It was from Centerville, Ohio. This, now they're going into 500 stores. that can give digital advertising product information as well as show the cooler's contents. And you saw in the video it doing all three things at once, which I think is impressive. It's done by a company called Cooler Screens, and they are also at least being tested in Walgreens. I saw another video of a shopper kind of surprised. They have an ad network of 90 million viewers, and I'm thinking to myself, and it's soon to be 200 million. I'm thinking to myself, yeah, they got you. You have to go to the store and get stuff unless you buy with online delivery, which has gotten expensive. And so, they've got your attention. They've got you in context of their product. What could be better than that, right? And, maybe they can convince you to go with the brand name instead of the store generic. So, and the retailer, gets paid a co-op for those ads. And who knows? In many cases, the retailer, I was told by the CFO of Dominic's Finer Foods one time that they made as much profit from the ad co-op as they did from their gross margin down to net in the stores. What a cool idea, Dave Foley says. And Ettinger too is on here. Yeah, so there's a lot of benefit to this, even for the shopper, which is what I like. There's a benefit that I can read it better. And the other thing in the store is, you say, well, where's the cheese? Who moved my cheese? There's a book by Johnson, I think his name was, or Johnston. Anyway, but that, they're always moving stuff around, and there's some signs way up high at the beginning of an aisle, but it doesn't give you nearly the complexity that's really offered. And so this, where it says energy drinks and fruit drinks and soft drinks, that's a miracle for me. That's just a miracle. The only thing better was to connect it with the items I want. I have a list on my phone of items I want at the Piggly Wiggly, and I just go boom, 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 boom. Now, if it would just route me through the store and tell me like a GPS where the heck I'm going. Anyway, so I think that's a pretty cool thing. And Arsen Avakian, I believe, CEO, says, we're excited about this continued collaboration. It extends our vision of the future of retail media, offering brands another powerful marketing lever inside the store. Carla Pratt, Senior Vice President at Kroger, Precision Marketing, said that KPM, Kroger Precision Marketing, was rated the top retail media network for audience and measurement capabilities. So Kroger is also managing this, and that was from a survey by Path to Purchase Institute. And I hope that, I'll tag a few people in here to get your reaction, because I think this is really interesting for you retail people out there. Okay, this was a great article. Let's see who wrote it. I don't see the author mentioned, but by Get News, and it's probably AI generated, because there doesn't seem to be an author. But anyway, why one should customize a donation letter template and see contributions rise. Okay, so basically it says that organizations send donation letters and they share what the organization needs financially while gaining support for its cause. What should be included? Well, first you should know your goal. Okay, and it's always helpful to have a specific goal, not just send more money. I mean, sometimes a thank you goal. I remember CBN Network I used to support, and because they were like the only Christian TV sort of option, and or one of few. They were also a client of mine, and they sent me a thank you letter, and it included what I'd been giving, and it said, let's say I was giving $15 a month. I have no idea, but it was a small amount. They said, you're giving $15 a month, and we really want to thank you, and we wondered if you could make that 20 or 25 or something like that. And I thought, well, sometimes these letters are so impersonal, you wonder if they even notice that you are a contributor. they read like you're not giving anything. And you say, well, it would be nice if you were at least, if you had some gratitude for what I gave. Okay, so even a thank you letter can be an effective outreach. So know the goal. Also a follow-up on if you gave for a specific goal, like I gave, like my kids were going to a Christian school, and they needed a new furnace or something. I think it was a furnace, or a new roof on the gymnasium or something, but I think it was a furnace. And and so the school sent out a form letter that the students were supposed to send out 25 each, and write their name on it and write the name of the person it was going to, and then they would bring them back to school, and the school would mail them all. And it was just an awful letter. It was wordy, but it wasn't informative. And also the problem was that with 4 kids at the school, I would have had to come up with 100 different people in my own, in our friends and relatives to hit up for this furnace. So I thought, no, I'll do something different. I'll just ignore that letter, and I'll write my own. And I put a picture of my kids, and I put a picture of this Christian school, and I put a picture of a furnace. And I said, if, it was basically from them, and it said, if my dad's ever helped your company, and, he didn't really charge you for the benefit, just for his time, maybe you could chip in a little bit and help us get a new furnace. Basically the gist of it. And my kids raised more money, thousands and thousands of dollars, and they raised more money than all the rest of the kids in the school put together. And but the winning kid got a bicycle. And my kids didn't get anything, because we did it jointly, because, it was hard enough to get enough sent out. And they also said I violated the rules because I didn't use the school letter. So they weren't going to give any prize at all to my kids. But they ended up giving them school sweatshirts or something, some chintzy prize. And I don't forget those things. And it went under. School went under. And probably because they treated their parents very poorly. But anyway, so the goal was a furnace, but I made it come from the kids, and I told why it was important in the cold winters of Wisconsin and some other stuff like that, schmaltzy stuff. And we raised a lot of money, and it was a 1-pager, and it had color pictures, and it was really, really nice. But anyway, so the organization have to know what you want to achieve. Engage the donors, okay? I was a volunteer for the American Heart Association in Wisconsin Heart Association. And so I said, well, I do direct mail. And they said, well, would you help us write our donor or our, fundraising letter for this fund drive that we were having? And I said, sure. And so what are you doing now? What did you do last year? And they had a 4-page letter, and it went into all of the statistics of what they got and what they did with it, and all the organizations that they funded. And I said, well, I'm going to take a different tact, if you don't mind. I'm going to keep it under 2 pages, and I'm going to talk about, are there any stories about the people that you actually helped? About the lives that were saved? Somebody that got a heart transplant or something because of the American Heart Association directly? Oh, yeah, we got lots of those. So I put 1 or 2 of those in at the beginning and said that this is making a real difference for Wisconsin and for our community. And I told about the lives that were changed because of the American Heart Association. Same list, sent it out again. As last year, it wasn't a split. It wasn't an A-B split. It wasn't incremental benefit, but it did raise double the donations that that the year before were raised. Okay, so I know that some of these principles are true. I also helped the Blood Center of Kansas City with their fundraising. So I've done a bit. Acacia Theater, I've been on the board of that, and a couple of churches. So, and right now I'm working with an organization that has an 8-page fundraising letter. It's all about statistics and organizations they fund. It's exactly the same. And so I marked it all up, And I'm going to send them this this marked up letter and say, you know, you might want to follow some of these guidelines. And I'll also send them the link. So first one is choose one person benefiting from the work of the organization and share their story with potential donors. Absolutely right. Donors respond well when they feel connected with the person that was helped, feeling like heroes who are doing good for the world. Keep the focus on the donor, which no one does. You want to tell about all the stuff, all the statistics. Keep it simple. No more than 2 pages. I happen to follow that one too. Word sentences and paragraphs should be short, but the message needs to be shared in the first paragraph. Don't share statistics in a donation letter. Also, I believe, you know, you could put the signature in blue. If you only, you know, if you have a limited budget, you can do a 2-color print run, you know, if you have a printer with an offset press anymore. And you can use the blue to sign the letter, and you can use blue to make underlines and key points and, you know, brackets around key paragraphs with notes in the margin, things like that to make it look like I wrote it. It may be a form letter, but I highlighted things that I thought you'd be interested in. Okay, it makes it look much more personal, makes it stand out. I never get fundraising letters that look like that anymore. People have forgotten these things. Include a call to action. Let the reader know what steps to take. I say have a QR code, maybe one for Venmo. The church my daughter's on the board of has a Venmo contribution on their bulletin, on their church bulletin every week with a QR code to give to Venmo, give through Venmo or something like that. I think it's Venmo. Anyway, the kids are into that stuff, okay? And here's a great one. Try to find a company or sponsor that will match donations 1-for-1 to bring in more funds. Excellent idea. I'm going to use that with the 8-pagers. Okay, finalize the letter. Sign the letter with an individual's name. I don't see any PS mentioned. Always a PS. Underlined in blue. Always. Sign it in blue. Underline it in blue. Okay. And maybe even a little scribble on the outside of the envelope. Okay. Say why it's coming. Say why. Say we're really thankful for your gifts. And here's our stuff. And so they also mentioned templates. You might want to start with a template. So I went to their link, Juliana Acosta, and excellent article. I only started the beginning. David Foley says matching funds offer usually doubles the donations. Well, it more than doubles them. It for sure doubles them. But you're saying that the audience donations more than double in addition to the matching donations, right, David? If people wonder if this is live, yes, it is. And I don't know why more people don't tease me and correct me on this, because I certainly make enough mistakes every week or every day. Every day. Can you believe that? Okay, what's the purpose and how many letters? Every church has a budget for reaching out to communities. The more letters you send, the more it will cost. Right, but the more it will what kind of a thought is that? The more letters you send, the more money you'll raise. You know, and the average fundraising donation is, let's say, $25, you know, and it takes maybe 10 letters to get that at $1 a piece. So you're spending $10, you're getting 25 back. The ROI is unstoppable, right? And it doesn't cost $1 because you can get fundraising rates if you apply for it, which also isn't mentioned in either of these articles. Okay, and it says a 3-letter campaign is an excellent idea. You know, my church doesn't do any of this. You know, we do everything on email, and we don't, you know, we're a tithing church, but we don't really ask for other donations. We don't say to people, you know, we ask for your pledge, but we don't say, you know, you can also give to this or that or another thing or another way. We really should do that. I think there's a lot of nonprofits that you probably interact with that you don't think about too much that you could be helping if you're in marketing. So I want you to think about it today. Think about the nonprofits in your area. Like there's actually in my building, there's a pantry, food pantry. And the owner of the building donated the space, and the people who run it told me that they could not have afforded to do this if they had to pay rent for it. So it was a big deal. Some people didn't. Some people, the financial planners in the building didn't really, and the insurance companies didn't really appreciate helping the needy right next to their office. But I think it was great. So anyway, there's multiple letters on here from this template space, and that'll be included in the show notes, wdma.org, and you can go to the members only area, and it will show you the show notes from every show I think I've ever done. And they each have weird titles, and so you can find them easily. Time to go. Have a great day. Like and share. Your friends will know you're smart. Bye-bye. Thanks for